What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Avengers news update. Now, obviously, we have been without LEGO Marvel Avengers news for months, absolutely months, and like you, I have been extremely anticipating more news for this game because I've been so excited about LEGO Marvel Avengers for months, but it's really hard to keep the excitement when there's nothing going on, when there's no news. But today, they have blown my mind. I mean, I can't wait to talk about everything. So basically, this is, of course, the trailer analysis of the New York City Comic Con trailer. Now, after that, I'm going to be doing a news update which talks about everything that has been announced today. But bear in mind, that might not be everything. There might be more. And, of course, I'll be back again to talk even more about whatever else is announced. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so basically what I'm going to do with this video, I'm going to explain how it's going to work. So, with LEGO Marvel Avengers, this is extremely exciting news. Not only do you play through the Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, you also play through Captain America the First Avenger, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Thor the Dark World, and Iron Man 3. You play through all of these movies. Now, bear in mind that Captain America the First Avenger, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Thor the Dark World, and Iron Man 3, they will be compressed down. They won't be as long, obviously, as the Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, but you will get to play through content from those movies and get to play through, basically, Arthur put it, the really exciting bits. You know, the really exciting bits that everyone loves about those movies. So you're going to face off with Bucky, you're going to fight Aldrich Killian, you're going to face off with Malekith, and all that good stuff, and of course Red Skull. So that is really cool. So what I'm doing with this video, I'm going to start off with the movie that came first, and it is, of course, Captain America the First Avenger. So the first thing we're going to show here is the confirmation on the Red Skull. So Red Skull is in the game. I know it's a small thing, but hey, you know, it's a brand new character and it's really cool to see Red Skull. Looking forward to playing through the Captain America the First Avenger mission, because that should be a very interesting one. And it's great to see that they're doing this, because I did a video where I said, you know, what they could do for each movie as a mission, and they're actually doing that. I mean, that just goes to show why TT Games are my favorite developer of all time, and that will probably never change, because they listen, they know what you want, and not only do they listen, they make it happen every single time. Again, just another very quick thing, but I think this is from Captain America the First Avenger, but basically, if you look carefully, you can see one of the MCU Hydra agents just behind Captain America, so that's pretty cool. We haven't actually seen the MCU Hydra agents in a LEGO Marvel game before, so that's great. And of course, there's also the ones on Avengers Age of Ultron, you know, when they're on the battlefield, they are in the game as well. So it's nice to see that they have both the first Avenger version and, of course, Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, this might have been overlooked by quite a few people, but personally, I found it quite interesting. So here, of course, we can see Steve Rogers training in the gym from that scene in The Avengers where Nick Fury comes in and talks to him. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to me, when I saw this scene in the trailer, it didn't look like a cutscene. It doesn't look like a cutscene to me. I don't know what it is. I could be wrong, but it looks like it's actually in gameplay, and it's making me think, what if you can actually go to the gym in the New York City hub and be able to train like that? That would just be really cool. And personally, I really hope that version of Cap is playable in the game, because it's just nice to have all these different variants, especially, you know, the civilian ones. I'd love to play as Cap and just run around in civilian clothes. I think that would be really cool. And of course, you know, he keeps his powers and everything, because that would be great. Now, this is, of course, a very iconic scene from the end of the Avengers where the Other goes up to Thanos. And, of course, it is the very first scene in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe where we got our first look at Thanos. And, of course, there he is. He's sitting on the chair. We can't see him any more than that, but he's sitting on the chair. And that gets me very, very excited, because it makes me think that he's almost confirmed. He has to be playable in this game. I mean, it's Thanos, you know? Especially with the Infinity War coming out, because I know a lot of people like me, where when the Winter Soldier came out, as soon as I came home, I started playing LEGO Marvel Superheroes, fighting Bucky as Cap and everything like that. That was so much fun. So to be able to, you know, see the set photos of Infinity War, maybe even, you know, a few years later down the road, actually go see the movie and then come home and play this, that would be a blast. Just playing as Iron Man Mark 45, fighting Thanos in the streets of New York, that would just be amazing. So I really, really hope that Thanos is playable in this game. Now, funny thing about this is actually the only time in this entire trailer that they show a glimpse at Iron Man 3 content in LEGO Marvel's Avengers, and the place that they're actually showing is Tennessee, which is the place where Tony went in Iron Man 3 and he met Harley for the first time. So it's pretty cool that we actually get to see that in this game. Now, I don't want to dwell on this too much because I want to leave it for the next video. But basically, at New York City Comic Con, they actually announced some brand new hub worlds that you're going to be able to explore. And Tennessee wasn't on that list, but they did say there is more. And honestly, when I look at this, it looks like we're going to be able to explore it. But, you know, we will just have to wait and see. Now here, of course, we can see Sif, Thor, and Volstagg taking on Malekith's Dark Elves on Asgard. Now, again, I don't want to dwell on this, but Asgard is going to be one of the open world areas that you can explore in LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Yes, you can free roam in Asgard, and I know a lot of people have been asking about this. I think this has actually been requested since LEGO Marvel Superheroes ever came out. So yes, for the people who have always wanted to explore Asgard in LEGO Marvel, here you go. This is the game. This is the game that you're finally going to be able to do it, and it's going to be incredible. Now, I could be wrong about this, but this clip right here looks to be set on the Lumerium star, which is, of course, right at the beginning of Captain America the Winter Soldier. Now, the reason Thor and Captain America are teaming up here, that's not because it's in the mission, and it's, obviously, you can also see that Cap is wearing his classic costume. This is clearly free play. This is definitely free play. But this does look like the Lumerium star, and that is just a glimpse at the Winter Soldier content on offer in this game. I mean, we get to play through the Winter Soldier, probably one of the best Marvel films I've ever seen. That is going to be incredible. Now, I have no idea who this enemy is that Cap is fighting right now, but honestly, if I had to guess, it's probably just a henchman. It's probably just one of Hydra's henchmen from Captain America the Winter Soldier. And again, you can see that Cap isn't wearing the outfit from the movie. That's just temporary. That's only because it's free play, or maybe it wasn't finished at the time. But yes, that suit is in the game. But I'll talk more about that in the next video. But yeah, it's still really cool. Here we can see Black Widow doing a bunch of flips on the streets. We can also see she's taking down a bunch of Hydra. This is, of course, the scene from the Winter Soldier. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think that is Falcon on the top with a gun shooting the enemies. Because in that scene from the Winter Soldier, he's actually on the top of the bridge and he's shooting the enemies while Black Widow and Captain America are, basically trying to deal with the ones on the ground. So that's, if that is him, that's a really nice little attention to detail that they've actually remembered that he's up there. Maybe you get to play as him in that scene as well. Obviously, Falcon is in the game. You see him in this trailer, and he's playable and everything, and he looks incredible, and I'm very, very excited to play as him. Again, here we can see the same scene, but this time Black Widow and Captain America are doing a special move where Captain America and Black Widow are basically holding onto the shield and just spinning around. That's one of course, the special moves that you can do in the game. It's a team-up move, which is really cool. And one of the great things about LEGO Marvel's Avengers, and LEGO Dimensions as well, because this features this, is basically with previous LEGO games, you would do a few attacks and then eventually some cool combat move would happen. And that was great, and it was always cool to see that. But now, this time round, you can do that whenever you want. As long as you've chained up your combat or whatever, you can press circle and then that's it, and it'll do the move. So if you want to see a specific move every time you're fighting, you can totally do that, and that's going to be a lot of fun because when I'm playing the game and I'm fighting, I'm like, okay, now I want to finish this guy with the coolest move ever, and I can do that at will whenever I want. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, I did of course say that Falcon is in the game, and here he is in his Winter Soldier costume looking amazing. I really, really, really hope they have his new Avenger costume from the movies as well. That would just be such a great addition to the game. But if not, then at least we have the Winter Soldier one. And again, just want to make sure you all know, yes, that's just temporary, that he's wearing the classic Captain America costume, so don't worry about that. And this is of course the scene from the Winter Soldier where, they're trying to stop Bucky and they're putting all the key cards in and everything. It's a brilliant recreation as well. It's so cool. I mean, you'd think that it would be difficult to remake some of these places. Sometimes you don't get the best camera angles and everything. You don't get to see every corner of, the rooms that they're in. But they've done it, and it looks exactly like how it looked in the movie. And really, I'm blown away. Really, really am. Here we can see Bucky up to no good as usual, but he looks absolutely awesome in this, and I love how they kept the little guard around his mouth, because I always thought, as soon as I saw Captain America the Winter Soldier, I was like, that is Bucky right there. You know, Sebastian Stan absolutely nailed it as the Winter Soldier, and I just loved it when he actually had the mask on. Don't get me wrong, you know, in Captain America Civil War, I don't think he's actually going to have all that, and that's fine, you know, that's perfectly fine, but to have that in this game, to have the version I really like with the guard around the mouth and everything, that is just so cool. Now, pay attention, as you can see here, that Bucky has the same weapon that he used in the DLC pack. I think it was was it the Super Pack or something in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, but when I show you in the next video, you'll notice something obviously different. Alright, so as you can see from the previous video, you can of course see that Bucky is holding the same gun from the Super Pack in the DLC pack from LEGO Marvel Superheroes. However, this obviously looks to be the open world, and it's also super cool to see a helicopter flying around the open world. I really hope that's some random crime or something, because that would be really cool. Maybe you have to stop the helicopter and its bad guys or something like that. But anyway, the most important thing to mention here is that Bucky is holding a completely different weapon, and I have no idea what it is. It could be a machine gun, like a really special machine gun. It could be the weapon he used when he flipped Nick Fury's car over. Or maybe it's like a grenade launcher, it shoots loads of bombs. It does look like it might be able to do something like that. It's hard to tell right now because we don't get to see it in action in the trailer, but nonetheless, it looks like an awesome weapon, and I can't wait to use it as Bucky next year. Now, I love the Vision, alright? The Vision is such an incredible Marvel character, and when I saw him in Avengers Age of Ultron, like I said, you know, Paul Bettany, he knocked it out of the park. He really did. Paul Bettany did an amazing job as the Vision, and he's always done a terrific job as Jarvis. But to see him as the Vision now is just great, and I can't wait to see him in Captain America Civil War. Anyway, he looks brilliant in this game. I know I showed a little bit of gameplay a few months back, you know, when I did that video, when I compiled all those gameplay videos together, but here we can see him doing a special move with the Scarlet Witch, and, you know, they're spinning around together using all their powers. It just looks so cool, and he looks amazing in this. I have to say, when I first saw the Vision screenshots, the Vision minifigure, I wasn't sold on it. I didn't actually like it at first. I don't know, it wasn't a good looking figure to me in my opinion, but now I absolutely love it. It looks so cool in game. They've done a terrific job in making it look better. I don't even know how they've done it, you know. They haven't edited it in any way. It looks exactly the same as the figure, but somehow TT Games use their little special magic or something, and they just make things look better in game than they do in reality, and that's impressive. Now, of course, as it was stated a couple of months ago, we will, of course, get a lot of different versions of Ultron in the game, which is great. And one of them is the Mark I Ultron, which is just so cool to see. And I remember from the videos that I did a couple of months back, we could see, you know, he had the zombie walk and everything from Avengers Age of Ultron. You know, that's what I love about TT Games. If you see something in a movie or a TV show or whatever, and you see how something moves and interacts, chances are it will do the exact same thing in the game. I mean, when you look at Mark I Ultron, you see him walking about in the gameplay, he walks exactly like he does in the movie. You know, he really does. It's insane. And then I haven't covered in this, obviously, because, you know, you see most of that in the trailer, and I wanted to cover all the special stuff. But when you look at the scenes that they're recreating, it's insane. If you put them side by side, it'd be really difficult to tell a difference. You know, I know they're Lego, I know that, but like, none of them are out of sync. You know what I mean? They're all exactly like the scene from the movies. It's incredible. Now here, of course, we can see another version of Ultron that is playable in the game, and this is actually called Ultron Prime. Well, that's what it's called on the LEGO.com website, so it's pretty cool to see that version as well. So we have Mark I, Ultimate Ultron, and Ultron Prime, so it's pretty cool to see all three versions. Now the question is, will we see a classic version of Ultron as well? Will we see a gold version or something like that? That would be really cool, because obviously they're celebrating all of the Avengers. This isn't just the Avengers movies and, you know, the other MCU movies. It's also about the comics and the TV shows and cartoons and all that good stuff. So it's quite possible that we might see other versions of Ultron that aren't actually from the movies as well. So that could be interesting. And last but of course not least, here of course we can see probably the most iconic scene from Avengers Age of Ultron this year. It is of course the Hulk versus Hulkbuster fight in Johannesburg. Yes, you can actually play through this in the game, and it is just so cool. Now another thing to mention that I noticed, Tony's actually wearing the Mark 6 when he gets in the Hulkbuster. Just a small thing, but it has been confirmed that you can get in the Hulkbuster with any of Tony's armors that are available, so that's cool. But of course this shows that in the trailer they're showing off free play again, but in the actual game, when you're actually playing the game, you'll be wearing probably the Mark 44, and then you'll put on the Hulkbuster suit, and then you'll fight Hulk, and it just looks so much fun. It really does. To fight Hulk in the streets of Johannesburg, that is going to be a lot of fun. I'll be talking more about Johannesburg in the next video, but yeah, I mean, this trailer was amazing. It really was. I'm very, very impressed by everything they have to offer, and I'm so happy that we'll actually get to play through not only the Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, but more, like Captain America the First Avenger, the Winter Soldier, Thor the Dark World, and Iron Man 3. I mean, that is just so exciting, and really, it just boosts the amount of characters and vehicles and all that kind of stuff. So this game is going to be amazing, and I cannot wait to finally play it. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, like I said, I've got a news update coming up next where I'm going to be talking about all of the news that hasn't been covered in this trailer analysis, and then of course if more happens, then that'll either be included in that video, or I will wait and then make another video as well, because I don't want them to be too long, because I know sometimes that can be quite unbearable. Alright guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.